to the Women's Pelvic Restoration and Dis-Ease Prevention. Normally, we have the beautiful Lorraine with us, but today she is in Australia, where she is teaching all kinds of fun classes and learning new stuff. So we're telling her to have the best time. And I am Cheryl Cerda. I am from Northern California. My clinic is Health and Vitality Engaged. And we have the beautiful Sandra May. Tell us.
Hello, everybody. Coming to you from Doc Detox. I'm normally on the phone answering all your questions, helping you out with protocols. But like my partner said, that Lorraine is around the other side of the globe. So we're going to come and we're going to talk to you about the pelvic restoration. And today, love, what is our chosen topic?
Well, actually, even though we say PMS, there really is no such thing as PMS. It is something that was created by doctors so that they could somehow explain the emotional and physical symptoms that women would tend to have more during their menstrual cycles than they would during the normal days of their month. However, as we all know, and I'm looking here for my slides, and I do not see them, so that's really interesting. So as we call the highway to health, and as we know, the intestine is really the life and death that we have in our bodies. It is where our life and death begins because the intestine represents 85% of our good bacteria. What does that represent? That represents our immune systems, right? So if we are not eating properly and we're not doing so great, then we're created a bunch of inflammation in our intestines, then it's going to start showing up everywhere in our bodies. And so, of course, this isn't just for women when we're talking about pelvic restoration. This is for men as well, because what sits inside our pelvic girdle? That's right. For women, we have our uterus and our ovaries and our bladder. And for men, you still got the bladder in there and you guys have your prostate. So as we know, inflammation in the large intestine, and if there is inflammation, there's going to be leakage. And so what we call pooping in the pelvis is literally pooping in the pelvis. Because as we are inflamed, we're creating bacteria and fungus, and that fungus bores little holes into the large intestine. And that's right, that crap seeps into the pelvic bowl. Now you have all those gorgeous organs sitting in a manure pile.
So there you go. So PMS is the same thing as pooping in your pelvis. Who knew, right? Who knew?
Well, we certainly didn't, and I certainly didn't when I was, a young woman. I had no idea. I thought, okay, if I'm having PMS, I just take a couple of Tylenol or a couple of Advil, and I just, plow through it because women were taught to endure and to suffer, and this was our lot in life, right? Yeah. And what most women aren't aware of is that your breasts are the sentinels for your pelvic area. So when women are having issues in their breasts, you are having major issues in your pelvic area, which means that you have a lot of inflammation, which means that you've got pooping in your pelvis and your uterus and womb and your ovaries are sitting in a manure pile and they're screaming, sending signals to your breast, and then your breast will start forming cysts or fibroids or other kinds of inflammation as a last-ditch effort to get our attention. And believe me, it does. Just like all the other symptoms that we can have, it gets our attention, right? And so we have what we see as a normal intestine. And again, I'm not looking at the slides, so I can't see them, but I know that we have what we call the normal-looking intestines versus the not-so-normal-looking intestines, right? And so less than 1% of our population actually has what's called a healthy colon because of a plethora of variables, right? But that means that 90% of the population has an autoimmune disease. It is now the new normal, is to have an abnormal colon. This is why people are going to get, colonoscopies and they're having polyps and all these things are happening, right? There we go. There's that gut-brain connection. And it is ever so important, right? Your gut is your third brain. Let's be clear. It's actually doing so much for our autoimmune system, okay? So when women come to us and they say, I'm suffering from PMS, or it could be fibroids, it could be cysts, it could be hot flashes, they could be suffering from menopause. All of these things do not need to happen. However, that means that we have to educate ourselves. And that's why we're here. This is why I'm here and Sandra's here and Lorraine shows up, because we think it is ever so important that all women understand that you have to be the advocate for this beautiful, beautiful carbon suit. Okay. So we have to learn how to take care of it. And that means that we have to take massive personal action to get ourselves back into balance. And so tell us.
And so we also want to teach you and educate you that you have the power, the right, the intelligence to do all of this for yourself, right? Just think about all those other information that came along to us along the way. Oh, so you've had an extra stressful month. You didn't know any better. So you were eating all the ice cream and you were doing this and the pizza and the beer and the whatever else just because of all the stress, right? Well, now your system's really, really overloaded. So what does it do when it comes time to slip off that egg? It says, okay, well, this egg didn't get the chance to fertilize, so we need to move it off. And we need to prepare this body so that this muscle suit, meat suit, cavity, this area of the body can be as clean as possible for the next chance that we have, right? And so I can just remember a certain person, doesn't matter who, would say, oh, your PMS is just so harsh. Sandra, you're just such a hormonal woman. No, actually, we just didn't realize that we putrefied out our abdomen. Our large intestine, it's only one cell thick. So you put too much crap, if we're going to say that word, in there. That one cell thick lining very easily stretches apart, right? And so just to go back to where I started was, it really isn't about the hormones. The hormones are the after effect. Yes, they're out of whack because we're so toxic. But if we would just change what we put in here, if we just change the foods we put in, if we're having an extra stressful time, let's just give ourselves a time and the space to go sit down, breathe through, stop reacting all the time, and just sit in it and feel it. Something like what we talked about in the 12 loving steps. It's okay if we're having stress. It's okay if we're angry. It's okay if we're this or that. Just give ourselves time to feel it. And if we're going to step into those 12 loving steps and love and forgive ourselves, we can now move into that observer position. So guess what? You're not going to need the ice cream. You're not going to dive into the pizza. You're not going to be guzzling the beer, although it's summer and it's hot up here. So, a beer every once in a while in the summer heat, that's just fine. But we're not going to do it on a regular basis, right? And I even heard someone say, and it might have come out of your mouth, Cheryl, because you're so wise, not even one little bit of alcohol is really good for your body. So, hey, let's make those judgment calls for ourselves, but, nothing in extreme. And not very much needs to happen if we just give ourselves time to feel. Okay, it's, we don't have to deny ourselves the fact that I'm angry. This person did something wrong. Okay, be angry, feel it, let it go, breathe it out, right? Don't just start putrefying your whole system. And so then your PMS cycle is just crazy, right? I don't even think we need to use that term, do we, Cheryl? It's your detox cycle. This is your natural, the way that universe or God or whatever you view life as has set this up to try to help us be the best possible host for our possible bringing a new spirit into this world. So I'm always here to say, hey, regular folk out there stuck in the middle, feeling average, you can step up to the plate and you can start to live a better life and not putrefy your body out so much if you just give yourself time and space to sit back and feel and then let go of it so that you can observe it and then learn.
Well, you're absolutely right. That's very true. And there are steps that people can take. And, I always encourage people to do 1% a day. If the 1% that you want to start today would be make sure you're drinking enough water that your body actually needs, because most of us do not. Okay. So when you say take massive personal action, if you're in a place in your life where you are experiencing the emotional and physical imbalances, then you really do want to abstain from some of the bad habits that create more inflammation in your body. The adage is, and even my son didn't realize how much water he needed to be drinking for his body. At the very minimum, it's 3/4 of an ounce per pound of body weight, and then maybe even an ounce of water per body weight, which is certainly what I am doing, right? And then go into your pantries and into your things and take out all the processed foods that you have in there, because they have zero frequency. This means they have zero nutritional value. Why do you think that these, manufacturers put stuff in these products that are addictive, that make us want to go back and eat these empty calories? And so the body can't use those, so it encapsulates it, turns it into a fat cell, puts it into our thighs and our stomachs and everywhere else in an attempt to keep us safe from the things that we're putting into our bodies, right? And so again, the body can only take so much. So if enough time has gone by and you're already in a state of massive inflammation, then you really have to do massive personal action using live, whole plant-based food diet. That's right. And then even if we're using a whole plant-based food diet, we do not have the same nutrients in our soil that we used to have even 50 years ago. This means that even myself, even though I have a garden on my property and I'm doing everything I can to eat the very best food, I have to add nutraceuticals into my diet. And those are always can be found in the Doc and Detox store. Please go to pdgfree.com and download the Perfect Day Guide. This is going to have everything that we can't even touch in this one, show, so that you can start educating yourself on the nutraceuticals you need to take and what needs to happen. But one of the most amazing things that we can do, and right now we know that we have this amazing healing center in Ixtapa, Zihuatanejo, and this is Zihuatanejo, and this is where we're going to be having most of our classes for the rest of this year and next year. But what I want to talk about is the advanced water fast. Okay, this is an amazing, amazing opportunity to help your body release toxins. It's going to help your body flush out. If you want a way to jumpstart into an amazing nutritional guidance, this is what we do, because we do it together with the whole Brave Heart family. That's right. And I know that we have all these classes to help you, to educate you, so that when you go to do this advanced water fast, you're going to be so educated and smart about how you do it, right? You're not going to go out there and just drink water and then have all these issues. We're going to give you the nutraceuticals that are going to feed your muscles. They're going to be amino acids. They're going to keep you energized. They're going to do all the things. We're going to be doing the ultimate coffee enemas. All of these things you are going to learn. And so I know that we're going to kick it off Wednesday, August 7th, right? At 7 p.m. Eastern time, where we talk about the water fasting nutraceuticals that you will need to have the most successful water fast. It's 6 days. That's right. I mean, it's amazing. People have done so much longer in countries all over the world. They fast for 20, 30, 40 days. And here in America, people go, what? Stop eating for 6 days? Like it's going to be the end of the world. It's not. And your body is only going to get rid of the pounds and the toxins that you have in your body. And being thin does not mean you do not have toxins. It often means that your body is unable to uptake nutrients. It often means that this causes a lot of issues in the pelvic area for women. They stop ovulating, they stop having menstrual cycles, the hormonal imbalances that get happening from all the inflammation. So even so important as well to do this advanced water fast. And then there's a whole series of classes, right? There's Thursday, August 8th, they're doing the fasting preparation with exercises because yes, we're going to do exercises. We'll be using belly button therapy. There's clapping. So this is a time for you to love yourself, right? Because this isn't just physical, this is emotional. And we all have to learn how to love ourselves. And you can go to the Doc of Detox library and you can sign up for free. And he has an amazing free emotional intelligence masterclass that everybody can take because it is about balancing body, mind, and soul. So yes, all of these things are ever so important. And so I know that when we finally do, there's also a training for the DACA Detox Nutraceutical Training. And that's being offered on Friday, August 9th at 7 p.m., which is absolutely amazing. So all of these things are being offered for free because it's time for us to educate ourselves and become our own personal advocates. All the women, all you men out there, you do not have to suffer in pain and discomfort. And when you have inflammation in your pelvic area, then you've got lower back pain and you now have hip joint pain because all of this is connected. Because if this is your pelvic area, what's sitting at the bottom of the pelvic area? That's right, that's your sacrum. And the sacrum is also going to feed into the back. And so when we say these things, everything's connected. It becomes ever so important that we understand that. Isn't that right, Sandra?
Absolutely. So here we are chatting with you about women's pelvic and health. And yet the fasting plays into it, right? Because we understand that base idea of we are putrefying out. So we're not only here to encourage you to step into that sovereignty, to take that position in your life, to know that you can understand these things. These are not big mysteries of life, right? These are understandable concepts. Every single person out there can educate themselves. And so we're also here to encourage you about the fasting. The way that Dr. Cheryl Wolf puts it together makes this accessible to everybody. It is doable, even if you just want to sign up for 1 day at a time, then go to 2, then go up to 3. You know what? You get to the end of that 3rd day, all of your digestion has completely stopped. So if you can make it through day 3, you've done a lot. I don't know how many times I've woken up at day 4 and thought, hallelujah, there's angels in my house. It just was a glorious day, right? The body got that digestion totally stopped. So now all of that energy of the body can go after every little nook and cranny where anything's hanging out, a little parasite here, a little parasite there, anything. It's got the energy to now go after it. Also, with the support of the calcium ionic therapy, this really takes your fast to a new level, right? Because we know just plain water fasting will create quite a bit of acidity. So we add in all the products that Dr. Cheryl Wolf teaches, and it really buffers that down and makes it, especially with the SON and the IGF, I mean, pretty much anybody can fast. If you'll just sit and listen to your body, take some SON every time you need it, crush it up, have some IGF, put it underneath your tongue. This makes it super easy. But now you fold in the calcium ionic therapy. Well, acidity, goodbye. We are 3 steps forward, we're in no steps back, right? Other fasting is 3 steps forward and 2 steps back. So you're only really 1 ahead, right? Add in all those products. It's 2 3/4 steps forward, 3 steps forward and 2 and 3, only like a quarter back. But you add in that CIT, man, it's just an all systems go from there on out.
Well, not just that, we're also taking, the black diamond, which is going to grab hold of all the free radicals and the parasites and the yeast and fungus and mold encapsulate it, and swoosh it out through the back door, which is where we want it to go, because most people who have inflammation also have constipation followed by diarrhea, not realizing that the diarrhea does not mean you don't have constipation. It just means that there's so much plaque buildup in the colon that your body is willing to do whatever it can to get as much out as possible. So it's going to liquefy what it can. And so that creates the diarrhea. So this educating myself, because I remember the first time I learned all this stuff, it was like amazing, right? And I go, wow, I thought I was really healthy. And so, I did do the fasting. And so the magic of what happens when we get past that third day is that we're 100% in autophagy. And what that means is that we are exponentially passing through all of the, toxins that have been stored in the cells and in our bodies and in the intestines, and the way you will feel at the end of the 6th day. And as Sandra said, all the nutraceuticals will keep you from feeling tired and all the other things that can happen when you do just a water fast. Okay, and some people have done juice fast and things like that, but this is a water fast with the nutraceuticals. And let me tell you something, it is a win-win, and everybody that finishes one of these cannot believe how much energy they have. And then we educate people how to get out of the fast by making a delicious veggie broth, being able to sip on it gently so that you gently guide yourself out of the fast. You don't run out and, eat a hamburger or anything like that. I mean, it's like you can't even imagine doing that to yourself because you feel so good. And so I encourage everybody to sign up. Please come to the classes. They're free to everybody so that you can, send in your, I'm sure there was a thing on there. I just know there was, where you could go and sign up at docofdetoxlibrary.com, and there's the advanced water fasting guide. But then he will also be offering all of these classes, right? And they're on his Facebook. He'll be coming on live. He'll be talking about them so that everybody can join us. You can go to braveheartnation.com as well for all kinds of information. Now, remember, the Braveheart Nation is a healing and training retreat worldwide. It is Dr. Darrell Wolf's main goal is to get as many clinics as we can with as many people having power packs, right? With the cell sonic rejuvenation, the cardio med beds, and Wolf non-surgical, and bringing a level of intelligence and healing to our world that we all need desperately, right? We need to be able to be our own health practitioners. So anybody that has a chance, you need to get on to the Power Pack meetings. I know that they're being held, right, on Tuesdays at 2:00 for the Cell Sonic Rejuvenation. And now we're having a separate Power Pack every other Thursday, right? And I'm not sure about that time yet, but that will be for people, clinics with the cardio med beds. And come and educate yourself about those. I don't want to spend too much time on that, but these are the most strongest available energy medicine devices we have right now on the planet that we're making available for everybody that can get to us. So when you go to braveheartnation.com, you can actually click and see where there are practitioners worldwide. We have a map. So you can find someone as close to you as you can. If you're a woman suffering from any kind of pelvic issues, you want to get to a practitioner. You want Wolf non-surgical, you want Cell Sonic, you want to get on the Perfect Day protocol. You want to start healing yourself, because I know that we are all sick and tired. That's right, of being sick and tired. Yeah. And it's too bad that we wait until it has to be 4-stage inflammation or something like that to get our attention, but it doesn't matter. Let yourself off the hook, let go of the guilt, let go of anything you're holding on to, and just take massive personal action to take your joy back, right?
And you know what, ladies, you don't have to have had a pregnancy or multiple pregnancies to have trouble down in River City, down in the pelvic region. I just turned 53, and I tell you what, Cheryl, something is magical about 53. And someone else said, well, that makes 8. That's amazing because I am feeling amazing. I just turned 53 and every day seems magical. Anyways, sorry, I digress. But yeah, I've not had any children. And yet I do believe that I was about this far away from having like a rectal cancer or something. I had not passed stool properly for a very long, long time. Even as a small child, I would really dig in and really push back on that. Now, Sandra, it's time for you to go to the bathroom now. Just something in me, Cheryl, would just like dig my feet in and go, milk, clink, clamp my butt cheeks together, and I refuse to go to the bathroom. You know what? I'm still undoing that program. I'm still undoing that, right? And to realize that as an adult, I had a habit of not liking that feeling of you need to, right? And now I identify it as that's simply my body talking to me. Right. But how many years did I go through just trying to avoid that? And think you hold on to that for a couple of days and just think how worse and worse and worse you start to feel. Well, then it almost turns into a mini fever. And again, it's just your body trying to tell you to pass stool. Anyway, so that's just a little bit of my personal gib gab there. But yeah, ladies, you don't have to have had pregnancies to have trouble down in River City. Think about how much my pelvic region was rotting out simply because of that leaky large intestine, of that putrefaction, of that pooping in your pelvis that was going on, right? So we're here for everybody. We're here to help educate you to take that massive personal action and to help let you know that, yeah, that fasting is about to happen. And it's a lot of fun to know that you're doing it with people out there. It's and it's also a lot of fun to realize that these things aren't so foreign. We're definitely here for advice, but you really don't need medical advice before you do this. If you're on heavy medications, let's maybe think about it in that case and considerate. You'll want to do everything educated and smart. But this is something that absolutely every person would gain from. And I think you get closer to yourself. I don't know. What have you learned through the fasting, Cheryl?
Well, for me, because I'm already on a whole plant-based food diet, going into a water fast, and I had done fast before, but they were mostly juice fasts. And so for me, it was a relatively simple process. But for some people who have been eating a lot of processed foods and a lot of meat and a lot of dairy and cheese, and the inflammation is big, I recommend that they get on the perfect day protocol for 6 to 8 weeks. Start cleaning up your diet, drinking a lot of water, doing the ultimate coffee enemas, and get yourself prepared so that you're in a good position to do the water fast and be super successful out of it. But educate yourself anyway. Come and listen. Get on Facebook and do that. And one of the things that when you were talking, Sandra, which really brings something to my attention, is that even as a little girl, I was taught not to use the bathroom in the public restrooms. Right? They were dirty. Don't touch the seats. You can catch things from the seat. Can you believe that's the biggest story ever told? You don't have pores in your butt. You can't suck up anything from a toilet seat. I mean, it was just one of those things. And so for me, the thought of being in school and doing anything but number one was it. So you held it all day. We walked around as children constipated all the time. So, did we know how to let go of our crap? No, we didn't. And so that is also a metaphor for not letting go of your emotional crap, truly. Because remember, all pain and disease starts with an emotion. Okay? So,
I heard over the weekend, oh yeah, I get UTIs every time I go swim in a lake that's a little bit dirty. And I'm thinking to myself, you're in a lake, liquid's coming out of said hole in body, won't mention it, right? And yet something's jumping back inside your body and it's going to give you a UTI. And I thought, no, this isn't the time or the place to talk health. So I'll just listen.
Well, when that happens, because people have so much misinformation, I just gently guide them to, there could be a possible other reason. Are you willing to, entertain a different reason? And then you just send them to the library, because they might not necessarily listen to you, but they might listen to the written word, because, there's a lot of research and time that's gone into all the educational material that's in the Braveheart Nation library, right?
Yeah. He had
Okay.
a little bit of an out pushing, probably a little bit proud of the belly of the beer belly, as they say. It's a beer belly. Oh yes, I'm such a drinker. I've got a beer belly. No, you've just putrefied yourself out for so long. Now it's constantly inflamed, and you're in trouble. So
Yeah.
I'll take that under consideration. Of would you consider reading a document?
There you go. And, I have 4 children, and I am as healthy and vibrant at 63 as you can ever be. I've never felt better, right? And I feel youthful. I actually am feeling better now than I did when I was 53 because I have so much more information, right? So I just get younger and younger and healthier. Why not? So after we were talking about those wonderful Power Pack clinics, let's all remember that we rise together. And there is DOD5star.com where you can go to the Healing and Training Center, right? And you can come and see Dr. Daryl Wolf in person if you're coming to take classes or you're coming for your own personal reasons, right? You can do the whole ultimate healing experience, the most powerful treatment experience, and it is absolutely stunningly beautiful. So I know when you go to the DOD5star.com, you can kind of see that aerial view now. He has this amazing saltwater pool. You can stay right there at the healing center. I mean, you can have your own personalized experience. I know you can do the water fast there. You can do a juice fast. You can come and get services. Can you imagine bringing your whole family down there, mom, dad, children, and learning how to take better care of yourself? I think that would be amazing, and doing it together as a family. And maybe you're preparing to have children, then you really want to go down and understand, take the class, Pain-Free Pregnancy and Birth. Understand how you prepare your body so that you are in such a state of health that this baby is growing in a glow of your high frequency and not in the manure pile that we have from the foods that we've been told are okay for us, right? We live in a world of frozen food, packaged foods, convenience foods, fast foods, and that isn't going to make us healthy. That's not going to do anything but make us sicker and sicker, right? So when you go down there, you can also get personal certifications and trainings with Dr. Sage Wolf. Now, he teaches the Wolf Non-Surgical, and I have taken 3 of his classes, and I'm going to be assisting in 3 more, so I'm very, very excited. And he is so good. He is so amazing at being able to explain everything that's happening in your body in layman's terms, right? He's going to help you understand what you need to do to make this happen. And he'll come to you worldwide. If you can't get to Ixtapa, Mexico, he's going to come to you because that's how passionate he is about making that happen. Okay? So again, DOD5star.com. I know that there are links for everything so that you guys can get to where you need to be. I'm not sure if, I'm not moving the screens anymore. The dates. We also have the 2024 course dates. So as we're talking about Ixtapa and Zihuatanejo, then we're talking about the fact that the next classes are being held in October, right? And they are going to be in Mexico. The Whole Life Coach will be starting on October 9th. Everybody needs to take the Whole Life Coach. I don't care who you are. Come and learn everything that you need to know, especially if you have young children. Let's learn a new way of eating and educating our children at a young age. Let's teach them how, at a young age, to honor and love themselves, okay, and their bodies, and to be excited about eating a whole plant-based food diet. Let's take all those idioms and misnomers that we have heard out there about how if you are a vegetarian, you won't get enough protein. You will starve to death, in fact. And we're not talking about being a vegetarian. We're talking about a whole plant-based food diet, right? This doesn't mean stuffing your face with bread or milk or cheese or any of those kind of things. This is about being educated about what real health is, okay? And after the Whole Life, do we have questions, Sandra?
Yes, love. Yes. Okay, so we've got lots of practitioners out there cheering us on as usual. Hello, everybody. We have Heather says, what actually causes leukocytes. She said causes blood and leukocytes, but I'm going to assume you mean leukocytes in blood. And so those are a type of white blood cell that happens when there's a high level of infection in the body. So yeah, love, this definitely can happen when we are going to putrefy ourselves out so much, right? If we're going to really push back on that ultimate coffee enema, we're really keeping ourselves from the best thing that you can do for your liver. And what is the liver supposed to do amongst 400 things in your body? It's cleaning that blood out is one of the most important functions it can do for us. So dive into DACA Detox. Everything about our protocols and everything about what we teach, to me, are foundational. That you can add in other things later, but you need to understand this as your foundation for good health. Whole plant-based diet, just like Cheryl's saying, the structured water, knowing how to chew your food enough so that it can start the digestion here, understanding the ultimate coffee enema and why ours is called the ultimate, with that humic and fulvic products in there. Why does that take it to the next level, right? Understanding the vaginal infusion, right? And for men, you can do the same infusion rectally. So we're going to edit what we put in here, so we're not going to create the inflammation, and we're going to help out the detoxifiers on the other end of the body of getting rid of what we've already stuffed into our mouth accidentally. We didn't know how to handle those stressful situations. So yeah, Heather, I hope that helps. Cheryl, did anything you want to add in?
Well, just that for your body to be creating those high leukocytes, it just means that you really are in a state of inflammation. Okay, this means that it's getting your attention. It's time for to change your lifestyle. And like Sandra said, this is our 4 inches of intelligence, right? Do you know how long it takes for your mouth to send to your brain that you've had enough to eat? 25 minutes. This means that, and most Americans eat way too fast. We can finish an entire meal in 10 minutes, and so we don't feel satisfied. You might have your stomach feel full for a minute, but then you're hungry an hour or two later. So what does Doc always say? He always says, chew your liquids and liquefy your solids. In other words, you're going to chew and digest in your mouth 90% of your food before you swallow. This means that your body is going to be able to uptake the nutrients that it needs. That means if you go to, again, pdgfree.com and download the Perfect Day Guide, it tells you what a perfect day looks like. Okay, and it includes intermittent fasting. There it is. It includes intermittent fasting because you want your body to be able to rest. You want to go into a bit of autophagy every single day of your life. That means that you're eating most of the time between a window of 11 to, 11 to 7? I think that's our 8-hour window, right? And so you're having a couple of shakes a day, and you're doing 2 rainbow salads, and you're really nourishing your body with what it actually needs, and instead of the habits that we've done. So if you can even just take dairy out of your diet, that is a major inflammation causing food. I don't care what form it's in. Yogurt, kefir, cheese, milk, it still creates inflammation. Okay, is there any other questions, Sandra?
No, I think that was the only question. Lots of master practitioners helping us out, posting the links that we're talking about. So we really appreciate the community out there. Oh, there we go. Magdalena's got it. Chew your liquids and drink your solids, right? And when you're in the course, you're sitting next to, what the heck did he say?
No, I remember just not the drink your solids part, but going back to what we were talking about, the Whole Life Coach, non-surgical starts October 19th, and the pelvic restoration will be November 1st. Please go to Braveheart Nation. Make sure you sign up. Every woman needs to take this class as well. If you can't make it to Ixtapa, Mexico, then Lorraine and I will come to you. That means if you can get, 8 to 10 women together and a place for us to do it, we will make it available on Braveheart Nation for everybody to sign up, and we will come to you. That's how passionate we are about educating every woman on the planet about the knowledge that you need to be pain-free and vibrant. Do not go through life enduring pain that is not necessary, okay? And that includes the extra weight that every woman says, oh, you get past menopause, it never comes off. I don't care how hard you exercise. Well, I'm here to tell you, it comes off. Changing my diet, I've done probably 8 advanced water fasts now. So I do them at least every 90 days, and I know that the DACA Detox and the entire community does this for us as well. So,
can I ask a question, dear?
what's that?
Were you a little bit bigger when you started all this?
I was probably 30 pounds heavier than I am right now, and I started this journey about 18 months ago. So it didn't take that long. It was very mindful. It's not like you're rushing to flush pounds, because the pounds are going to come off when the toxins are released, right? I didn't lose muscle. I didn't lose any of that. I literally got back to the weight that I should be for my height, right? So that's kind of what you're looking at. So then the 2025 course dates are also available at Braveheart Nation so that you can plan ahead, right? So Ixtapa, we're going to be there 3 times. We'll be in Calgary, Canada, and we'll also be back in Stewart, Florida. And I understand that Florida right now is being hit by quite the hurricane. So I'm hoping that everybody there is safe and sound. And I'm going to do a little research when we finish the courses, right? And one of the most amazing things with the DACA Detox is where everybody else is raising their prices, the DACA Detox Braveheart Nation has reduced their prices by 30 to 35%. That means that we're making this as affordable as possible, because never before has it been more important for us as a nation, as a people, to be educated and to understand that they don't have to take over our country. We're killing ourselves from the inside out. And let's stop that wave. Let's stop that conditioning that's been put into each of us. Let's learn how to take our health back, because with your health comes freedom. That's right. Freedom of movement, freedom of mind. Clear out the cobwebs, get the parasites out of there, and let's start remembering and taking action. Okay? So
when we stop that war within with all that infection, then we're not interested in the war that's outside of us. So it does really all start at home, everybody.
It really does. And you know what's more exciting is that the DACA Detox Braveheart Nation and so many people have got together to make the most powerful app that's ever been done, that you guys will be able to download on your phones and have access to everything at your fingertips. And now I understand that we're celebrating Mexico Independence Day, which is September 16th, and that's when the app is going to go live. Right now, we still have beta testers. We're getting all the little bugs out of it. You know, I'm just so excited because you'll be able to find practitioners, take courses. There's even going to be a dating app, but not like those other dating apps out there. You actually have to take the emotional intelligence so that when you find somebody, you're finding a kindred spirit that is on the same frequency as you. And that's what we all look for. We look for somebody that's done the work, that's already taking massive personal action, that wants to change their lives and live free and, you know, be excited about life every day. I am so happy every single day of my life. I wake up so grateful. It's just amazing. It's like, oh, another day.
That's right.
And so we're all very excited about that. And again, one more shout out for the Ultimate Healing Guide. All of the information that we're giving you is available to you for free. pdgfree.com. You just put in your email and they send you this beautiful guide. And I do believe it's also available in the library, which you can also sign up for free and get all of this information. Read I Am Woman. Read about the highway to health, okay? Instead of the highway to hell. Let's be clear. You know, we get to be in charge of how our body is doing. And it doesn't matter where you're at, you guys. Doesn't matter. Start now, 1% a day. What does that mean? 100 days from now, you're in perfect health, or at least you're well on your way to a better life. That to me is super, super exciting. So, like we say, the only permanent health care is self-care. We can guide you. We can be here for you. You can come to all these clinics. You can get perfect day consultations, which means you have a coach for life. But that means we're here to support you to become your greatest practitioner and to learn to take care of yourself, because the only permanent love is self-love. That's right. And to rise to your full potential, you have to fly. And what does fly mean, Sandra?
First, love yourself.
That's absolutely right. And someone says, well, how do we start? And I said, really? Because It starts with mirror work is what we call it, where you sit in front of the mirror. We'll end our show today with that brave heart oath, which you're going to say to yourself every morning and every night until you believe yourself. If it takes 10 times, you take 10 times and you really drop in and you look at yourself like you are your world's greatest lover to yourself, because that's what you need to be, right? And we are a brave heart nation. Together, we are stronger. And we are building a community of like-minded people who are passionate about educating ourselves and each other and being in unconditional love. Because when you have unconditional love for yourself, that's all you have for everybody else. Gone is the reactivity and all the other things. I don't get reactive anymore. There isn't anything that anyone can say, because if it brings up something for me, I just go, oh, thank you. Or it was just something I must be holding on myself, right? All anybody can be is a mirror to you, right? There's still just you that you're bringing to the show. And let's remember, your questions matter. You matter. There are no unintelligent questions. There just aren't. And we will always, on all these shows, take as many questions as you have. And I know that myself and Sandra and Lorraine and Dr. Darrell Wolf-Sage, who's ever doing the classes, we love your questions. We want you involved. We want to know that you have, that you're taking interest, that you want to educate yourself. So ask away, because we want to be able to answer those questions for you. And, like I said, I can't wait for the BHN app to come out.
Absolutely. Yeah. Your questions matter, you matter. And if we don't know where you're at, then we can't meet you there, because we want to meet everybody where they're at coming into this story and help guide and train you from there. Well, love, should we wrap it up and say the oath all together?
You want to do that together? Sometimes it's a little hard, strange when we try to make it work. You're welcome to do it. Go ahead, yes. Sandra.
Everybody read it at home if the team behind the screens can get the oath up on the screen. And then, maybe I'll just read it myself. It does get a bit echoey, doesn't it?
It does.
Okay. Okay, so video team, if you can throw that Braveheart oath up on the screen. And everyone out there, we know the drill. We take a couple breaths and we get ourselves centered into ourselves. So let's take a breath. One more. There we go. I am love. I am healed. I am Braveheart. Today and every day, from the moment I rise until I gently close my eyes, I will always trust, honor, respect, protect, forgive, and totally love myself first and foremost, before anyone else or anything else. So help me God, because I am, I can, I am love, I am healed, I am Braveheart. Will you take care of Bravehearts? We're very happy to be here with you. Sandra May signing off.
And Cheryl, Cerda, remember that we're on every Monday at 2:00, and we invite you to just put that reminder in your calendar so that you don't miss an opportunity. And have the greatest day of your life.